What's up, y'all? Thank you for viewing the In Between series, the show where young folks honor the space between their dreams and their reality. We're so excited for today's episode. Today I have to my left, Nayanel, Deja, Julian.
What's going on?
To my right, I have Marcus, Jess, and Brent. So,
Like, can we all laugh?
yeah. Well, what y'all been up to? How is it to be young? Like, what's going on in y'all world today?
Too much.
Too much? Is y'all stressed?
Yeah.
We gotta eliminate that word from our vocabulary.
Stressed? You're not stressed? How you feel then? What's you being productive?
You are stressed, but
You're busy.
Mostly good stress.
Are you?
I'm good. I have good stress in my life right now. I'm stressed, but good stress.
Do you feel like it's like this aura of just not stressfulness, but I don't know, like uncomfortableness or anxiety between young folks right now?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of pressure, like how are y'all handling all of that?
Therapy.
Okay.
Honestly, therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is something new that we're
Talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do y'all think there is an extra like stress from specifically just being young?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Especially with the pressures that we experience today, that our parents probably didn't.
like what?
Social media. That's a pressure.
I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
Comparisons with social media, like everyone feels like they have to have something accomplished, and everyone every day is presenting what they do or do not accomplish. So
That's true.
you can easily get caught up in that.
You're getting like a lot of information poured into you. Like that's something that we have to learn and figure out how to deal with on our own. It's not like
Our identities.
we weren't really taught how to like cope with that. How does that like impact like what you're doing now, like the work and things that you've started, putting time into? Could it become a distraction, you think?
I feel like it can be a distraction. I feel like we have to learn to use social media as like a business and a tool instead of a distraction.
Yeah.
And also know that like your journey is your own. So just because somebody may be doing something, you don't have to do it like them. You don't have to do it at the same pace that they're doing it at. You don't have to do it the same way. Even if it's not at that caliber, like you really have to own your own stuff because you can easily get caught up in what other people are doing because that's all you see on your timeline is like, this is what I need for breakfast, this is my kale smoothie, what are you eating? Like, like stuff you don't even need to know.
So it's like social media a good thing or a bad thing? Because
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So how do y'all use social media for y'all's like craft? It's necessary?
It's a necessary evil.
How? Like why?
Because you have a timeline full of nonsense at the same time when you're trying to be productive as well and use it to further yourself as well as other creatives. But it works.
And it's global, like you can share something and people everywhere can see that one time, but you're also open to that as well.
You also have the choice to unfollow all that nonsense and clutter.
That block.
You don't have to.
Very active.
You don't have to absorb that energy.
But how do you utilize that? Because sometimes it is a distraction just to see it. Like I know you can blog, but sometimes there are certain like algorithms that Facebook uses to kind of like choose for you what you do see. So is that a bad thing? And if not, like how can you make it a good thing for you and as a creator, how can you use social media for your purpose?
Well, so the good thing is that one, if you have a business and if you have a platform, social media has so many different things to show you or different statistics to show you like when your followers are on, when people are most active.
Yeah.
And so as long as you're kind of using those avenues of social media to kind of boost your platform and what your mission is, it can be a good thing.
Yeah.
But when you start to like do what she was saying, like showing like your breakfast, or like every time you go on a date with somebody that you just met the day before, you get what I'm saying? Like it's not beneficial.
Yeah.
It's not beneficial.
Yeah.
I think you have to choose, like, if you want it to be a business tool or a personal tool, because if it's personal, you still have to limit it a lot more because it's just it's personal. You're sharing your day-to-day life. Now, if you want it to like grow your business or your creative business, you have to be more intentional with it. And I think that point of being intentional and that crossing over from personal to business is where you can easily get caught up and all of a sudden 3 hours pass and you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
I definitely feel that because someone told me a while ago, and it's always stayed with me while I'm building my platform, like, stop wasting your tweets. I'm like,
I like that.
Yeah, but it makes me think like, wow, like I don't need to put any any derogatory or anything. I'm just thinking out.
Yeah.
Well, not thinking out loud, but thinking through the internet,
Yeah.
But yeah, like, people create perceptions of you.
And
if you are running a platform or a business, that perception is going to follow you, to stick with you.
Yeah.
But then there's a flip side to that. We have people that want you to create the perception. They have a whole media personality based off of being retarded or whatever have you, So.
I noticed as well, your social media platform, or like your footprint, I could say, is really distinguished off of like who you interact with on social media. Especially, you were talking about the algorithms.
Yeah.
So I kind of, as a photographer, I kind of had to like, I had my photography side of my Instagram, but I had to like stop interacting with certain parts. Like I pretty much unfollowed the Shade Room, World Star, all that stuff. And I noticed, like, as I've interacted with people, like, in my circle and things like that, things have gotten better. A lot more people
What you see.
stuff, so.
Yeah. How about as a professional? I know a lot of us, well, for me personally, can't speak for everyone, I'm still both, like, still navigating a space between my individuality and also representing an entire organization that I'm not going to ever name. But how do you choose, how do you kind of discover, yes, I'm still a person and I want to express myself, but I also, cannot overshare or not be a good representative of like my job, my professional life.
I think it's about realizing that every moment in your life is not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this obsession that our generation seems to have, and I say seem hardcore for a reason, but I think that our obsession with social media and this idea that, you have to be this perfect person in front of everyone online, of course it's BS, but again, it's like, I think that if you use, or if your relationship with social media is healthy, I think people can see that. So again, like, not every moment is for everyone. If you're obsessed over sharing every single detail of your life with everyone for the gram, then I think you need to reassess your relationship with social and what you're doing.
I use that word she said a lot.
I would say
healthy.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
Because
it sounds good.
amongst our generation, like, I think that is the most important thing in anything that you do. It has to be healthy. Otherwise, it's going to tear you down, and whoever else is paying attention. And
Sometimes it's even healthy to detach from social media.
Yes, I delete Instagram constantly.
Girl.
Like,
You have to.
I don't even have a Twitter app on my phone.
Let's say, like, Instagram isn't. I don't think Instagram is as bad as Twitter is. Like, Twitter is just really.
Toxic.
Oh my god, it is. At this point, it really is, because there's just constant information being fed to you.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind is not even supposed to be able to process all of that information from that, and all the tragedies, all the things that can really just affect your like mental well-being. And that's why there's like this like aura of hopelessness on these apps. And I don't believe that they're all bad things. I really do believe our generation created something here. Like, we changed the world with this, and I do see the positive in that. But I just hope that we can always be reflective of like what it does to us. So we have to learn how to like restructure and reprogram ourselves to really use social media in a way that benefits us and not hurts
realize
us.
how you're contributing.
Yeah, because I don't want, you hear all the time, those millennials, that generation, like,
I was like, that's fine.
Why is that bad?
So, like, I work 9 to 5 in the civil engineering industry. And I think it's like a lot of older, like, Caucasian men. And I'll literally, like, do one thing on the computer, like the smallest thing. Maybe, like, I don't know, change a cell in Excel. And they're like, oh my gosh, millennials! Like, you would think I just solved world hunger or something. So I just spin it and make it like, yeah, I'm a millennial. Yeah, I maybe on my phone, but it comes with other positives, and I try to emphasize those. And I'm like, you see, us millennials, we know our gadgets.
But I think the interesting flip side of that is that they'll still tell you that you deserve to make a low wage.
Yes.
I think in my experience so far, I graduated from the illustrious Howard University in 2015. Something that I dealt with
Not even that.
when I came out of school was just the low wages. I mean, I worked internships for no money. I was told that that was normal. I worked, again, for low wages doing work I wasn't really passionate about, and I was told that that was normal and that that was okay. And I always thought that that was BS. So it's crazy how they'll hype you up for being this super smart millennial with all these skills, but they're not going to pay you.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like,
Unless
you
you
can hype me
listen.
up, but I'm going to do my research. I already know, like, certain systems and certain industries are not structured for me to excel and for me to be their star person, whatever, like, I'm supposed to look like. It is what it is. So knowing that and going into things knowing that, I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure that I get my worth. Because if not, that's when I'll just leave. I'll walk away and go somewhere where I do. But I feel like you do have to work hard. You do have to negotiate. You do have to see comparative packages. You do have to ask other people questions. If you don't know, like, I have to do more than the average person, whatever the average person is in that position.
But at the same time, don't you kind of understand what I can kind of see why that generation looks at us like, bruh, like, what's wrong with them? Because we're good at everything. But and I think a lot of times what we kind of struggle with is streamlining what we're good at, and so it seems like we're all over the place when it comes to what we're passionate about or what we're good at, you know. And I think that we can become a generation that we are a generation that are jack of all trades and sometimes masters of nothing, unfortunately. And so, like, sitting at a 9 to 5, like, I hated my 9 to 5. Like, I loved what I did and I found passion in it, but at the same time, realizing that, like, sitting at a desk is not for me and doing one thing. You get what I'm saying? So I had no choice but to go into business for myself. But, you know, I get it. I understand where that perception of us comes from.
I also think that the industries, like corporate America, is changing for younger people. I mean, if you look at Google, like, people can have nap stations. You can sit on a beanbag. You have certain hours that are set up for you to creatively do what you want and not like your task at job, and you're still getting paid. So I feel like sometimes we don't take the extra mile to find those, to find what fits our personality, that I can come in late because I don't want to be a morning person for someone else's journey. Like, and I will go find a job that will give me that.
The struggle is that, do you really think that there is like an abundance of jobs that understand millennials?
No, I don't agree with that, but I think they exist, and you have to do your part to find them.
Yeah, because I don't think society's caught up yet.
I don't either.
But I think that's easier said than done.
Okay.
Because I mean, what did you study in school?
I studied civil engineering and business management.
And that's the difference, right? You got a lot of people with a lot of different majors, right? So what I studied at Howard was film and political science, right? So naturally it was going to be
right here too.
Okay, see? So
double major in admin.
It's a different journey, right? So someone like you with your background can definitely find a Google-like place to work, right? But for the rest of us, you know, we're working 9 to 5. Girl, in DC,
I feel like
do you know what the job market is like?
Maybe DC. So my dad is in film, but that's in LA. So
and see, that's the difference in perception.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the DC film.
It's different.
But I feel like in LA you can find that because you have a lot of young people in that.
I know for me, so I went to a little school in the middle of Kentucky called Morehead State University. You probably never heard of it.
Type it up, though.
So for my bachelor's, I came out with a bachelor's of public relations. I came back home, could not find a job to save my life. So when I finally did get a job, I eventually got into photography. Now I know people kind of like knock down the 9 to 5 and people hate it. And yes, sometimes I do. I go to my job and I'm like miserable. But sometimes I feel the pleasure of just like, you know, earning my money and then kind of like putting it towards my photography and just my arts and connecting with people and things like that. Like I host a lot of events back in DC, and it's like, you know, renting out spaces and stuff like that isn't cheap. I needed that money from somewhere. So, you know, I still see the pleasure in you know, earning my check from a 9 to 5. And then I just recently finished my master's at Bowie State University. So
Okay.
Okay, black man.
I like that. I like that.
Okay, black man.
Appreciate
I like it.
it. But now I'm starting to like the job I just now received. I received the offer. I should be starting soon. That's much more.
Lessons?
Yeah, it's coming. It's all coming at the same time. But but that job is like much more in my field. I got a master's of public administration, so it's like much more in my field, a lot better, and then I'll have more room to like even more time to work on my photography. So I feel like it gets better.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring it into a submission that we got. Subject is in between grateful and miserable. Dear panelists, I feel like I should be grateful for the opportunity to work in my field, but I just don't love my job. However, with bills, goals, student loans lingering over my head, I'm afraid to risk anything. I mean, that's like understandable. I feel like I'm jeopardizing my happiness for a check. The older people in my family constantly tell me that your 20s are for working. But I feel like times are different now, and we are no longer having to deal with some of the burdens that keep previous generations working deficient jobs. I'm a dedicated worker, but is being miserable a mandatory component of keeping a job? What advice do you have for somebody? What advice do you have for someone struggling with knowing when time is to let go? Is corporate America worth my happiness? I see you have a lot to say.
This is gonna come off terrible. Let me restructure this. Okay, so
Speak your truth, brother.
like I appreciate the letter, but it just seems when I came out of school, I had to learn how to be patient to a certain extent, and I do feel like yes, people do like strike down the word of millennial so much, and yes, I'm a millennial, older millennial. I'm 26, so I feel extra old.
Yes, me too.
Millennials range from 35, so
Right, that's true.
22 to
Probably,
35. You're like young in that grand
Well,
scheme.
I don't know. Still, I had to learn how to like I was just talking about with the whole like using my 9 to 5 to fund my passion. I'm old. Like it's sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do.
To get where you want to go.
I do feel like
That's real.
I feel like yes, this generation can be slightly entitled and slightly.
It's not slightly. It's very much so.
Right, yeah.
I don't think anything is wrong with entitlement, honestly.
Entitlement
The way
is
I
fine.
see things is that this is just me in the space that I am, because I'm going to speak my whole truth on this here show. I feel like you don't know how long your lifespan is. So to say wait for something better is kind of hard when you don't even know, like, why am I always waiting for something else? Like, can we just make things a little better for where I'm at now? And I know just even working in like my first job, like I can quickly like find things, that little tiny things that would make a great difference in like my value of life. Not even just pay, not even like benefits, like the way treatment is for younger folks in spaces of people who are older is sometimes like, y'all don't know. It's condescending as hell. Like, y'all don't know nothing. Y'all just here to do whatever work I tell you to do. I'm not even going to value you because I don't see you yet until you're the age of 35. And actually, I really feel like the word experience is a form of ageism. I really think it's a barrier for young folks. You need 10 years experience to file paperwork. Like, it's so I don't want to take that lightly. Like, I want to make sure like people's concerns as being a young person in this world are like being legitimized here.
Definitely.
So,
But there's a difference between expectations and entitlement.
Yes.
You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, so it's okay to have expectations. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have to understand that if you're expecting excellence, you have to operate in excellence as well. And so when it comes,
she said she's a dedicated worker.
okay, well, be dedicated when it comes to your dream. Like, you know, like I feel like a lot of times we have to identify what our purpose is on earth. We all have been set here on earth for something, right? And so when you operate just on a daily basis in your interactions, anything that you do and it's purposeful and you know that it's what you're supposed to walk in, then it comes full circle. You get what I'm saying? So maybe the time isn't right now. She'll know when it's time to jump.
See, I feel
Right.
all of that. I do. And I'm about to have a really entitled answer because I feel like if you could call it a job, then, you know, it's temporary. It's not meant to, you know, be so substantial for you. So I would advise her to do what she feels is best for her. Obviously, you know, the job situation is not that right now.
I mean, but there's like things, yes, you feel like you deserve stuff, but then there's like reality. You have bills.
Yeah.
That's my thing. You know.
But you're gonna always have bills once you become an adult,
Right, and it's
It's
my
always gonna be there.
like
there's
my
nothing you can do about that.
like my thing is like, why not be the richest I can be to take to where those bills don't mean anything? Like, yes, I might, like I said, I might have to do stuff I don't want to do, but I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it's really easy to call yourself a dedicated worker with like, I don't know, but you got to put in the work for it. I don't know.
I think we also got to consider what people value, because money is not everyone's like prime focus. Yes, we want to grind. Yes, bills got to get paid. But if someone says I'm holding my happiness or I'm holding money, which one do I want more? I'm going for happiness. Like, this life is short, and I also think I dream too. I just also think we have to be careful to what we feed to each other, because I think part of that is what we have been told. We have been told this is the way life works. Get over it. Everybody unhappy.
Even by our peers. Not even just by,
like I
feel like you can still be an advocate for something, an advocate for change, but if you have to operate in a certain field temporarily, then you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like, there's sacrifices, there's advocacy, but you can still do both at the same time.
Right. And the thing is, you don't have to have a miserable 9 to 5.
You don't.
You can actually
that's
work in
another
a
option,
job
right?
that
Yes.
you actually like while pursuing your dream.
Right.
You can still do that. Every 9 to 5 isn't miserable.
Yeah.
I work a 9 to 5 and I'm an artist. I consider my 9 to 5 my second job.
Yep.
Okay.
Because no matter what, art comes first.
Yeah.
My creative license comes first.
Right.
So I like my job. My job's cool. I know I'm not going to be there forever.
Exactly.
I would love to be able to relate to that. I cannot work
Can
for
I give you a
anyone.
high five through the air?
Yeah,
right
let's
now?
do that. Yeah, I love being able to know that. Like, even right now, I'm putting together an art show. I gotta fund that from somewhere, and it's like, how long is my happiness gonna last when I can't do what I want to do because I can't pay for it?
You can't pay for
I
it.
felt
I
that.
think if you think of it that way, as if it's your second job, someone else's, your corporate America is your second job. That's the way you
have
do
to
it.
use it to
I mean,
your
you need
advantage.
healthcare. You
Teaching
need
your
like,
way.
you know what I'm saying?
I cannot relate.
I'm with you, Naya. I
It's
can't
like-
relate.
I agree with
And
you.
you work till it becomes your full
It's
time.
a mentality change.
Right.
Like, you have to tell yourself, like, you're gonna work for me. I'm using you to fund this.
Okay, I like that
Perspective.
strategy right
But I
there.
think the thing that's missing in this person's message is this person's vision. Because I'm like, okay, you're miserable. You don't like what's going on. So what is the vision here?
Yeah.
Have a
And I think
plan.
that this person needs to think about who they actually want to be and what they actually want to accomplish. So this miserable feeling can be put into planning and figuring out a vision and figuring out what the next move is instead of sitting down and being miserable. Your 20s is your time to build.
By identifying purpose, though.
Right.
I feel like that is everything that she said. That has all been us at one point in time.
Still
Like,
is.
and you know, it still is. You get what I'm saying? But when you are really actively seeking what your lane is as an individual, as a human being, what legacy you want to leave as a person, then things start to shift in your mind, and you don't begin to work for people, but you begin to work for a bigger picture.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
So I feel like when you work, like, you're not operating under your temporary emotions. And like, that's what that letter seems to be. I think that's what we're all kind of having a conflict with. It's like she wrote that on the day, or he or she, whoever, when you don't feel like going into work. You know what I'm saying? But if
It was a
you're
really
working
bad
in
day.
your purpose, you have bad days, but you overall know what your goal is for you personally, and not, this task that you're doing as your job.
So what are some of the good things? Because we didn't come up with all of this on our own. Like, people before us have poured into us and have led the way, so we got to make sure we pay respect to that. So what are some of the good things that you've gotten from people that come before you that has inspired you and like kind of gives you to what you're doing now?
My biggest role model, and it's gonna sound so childish, but Beyonce.
I knew you was gonna say that.
It has always been, but I've grown up with that being the case. So I've watched her become, just be a part of the singing group, to being a solo artist, to running her own company, to firing her father, her manager, and literally doing everything herself. Like, that's inspiring to someone like me. I'm a dreamer, / dream chaser, So
All right, don't kill me on this, right? So you already know what I'm about to say. Kanye's probably been like the biggest role model.
The views of this person do not represent the show. I'm just
Alright, look, so anyway.
Turn this political.
I'll sit up here and defend Kanye for a while. Look, alright, so Kanye, biggest role model for me. Most of you guys like probably know how he started up. Like, he started doing beats, rapping, things like that, and now he has like a $1.8 billion fashion company, you know? So
According to him.
You won't get no agreements from me,
Right.
but
It's okay.
I appreciate it.
but I'm saying like you can see how he used his other talents and
I don't see
things.
nothing.
Come on, man.
I'm playing.
and like other things he had to do to get to where, because everybody said he wasn't gonna make it in fashion. That dude sells out everything like every weekend. You know what I mean? So he used his other means, and possibly, what if he didn't like rap that much? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He did it to get to something else he wanted to get to. Like I said, please don't kill me.
I would say mine, of course, not including, my powerful family members. I would say Mae Jemison. So she was one of the first NASA astronauts, but she was an actress, she was also a choreographer, she was in Star Trek too. So kind of like that limitless lifestyle. I think you don't have to be defined as one thing. So although she's like super smart and intelligent and went into the STEM field, that didn't stop her from making a name for herself in the creative field as well, as in dance, as in acting. I feel like sometimes people in life, they try to categorize you and you're like, this is what you're going to be, this is what you're going to excel at, but you can pick like whatever journey you want at whatever time you want. So.
Yeah. I'm with that. Me personally, mine's is Thurgood Marshall, still is. I just thought he is a powerhouse. Like, I just felt like his whole journey was unbelievable. He's really the reason why I went to school and studied political science and African American studies, and really inspired me to just pour my all into Black folks, because I feel like we deserve so much. So, yeah.
I'm going to say my mom and just the ancestors in general, the people that paved the way. My mom, because she's an entrepreneur herself. She's made a living just being a musician and teaching music. And that showed me early on that I can do whatever the hell I want to do. But aside from that, I think about just our ancestors and what they've been through just throughout history, and how I have no excuse but to be absolutely true to myself in every single thing that I do. Yeah. So, my inspiration.
Look, I feel like I shouldn't have said
But
Beyonce.
what about you, Brittany? I was gonna say, who's yours?
I love me some Beyonce.
Beyonce is a powerful Black woman.
So I think anybody considered or deemed as the underdog is my inspiration. Because when you're considered an underdog, for instance, like Martin Luther King Jr., right, led all of these civil rights movements, and he didn't let the outside world change who he was on the inside. You know, he could have fed malice into people. You get what I'm saying? So anybody who is just an underdog that's fighting for a bigger purpose, that's who I'm watching. Because it's like, dang, like everybody expected you to fall and be like somebody less than what you were, and you come and you hungry, like you know. So
I feel you. So we're gonna wrap up this conversation. Thank you for all of y'all's input. This was good, y'all.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right, to the viewers at home, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
You heard that play too? I was like,
Oh, you wanted to agree.